You're tuned into HotKeys Esports. Never have I ever believed or thought that I would get the craziest trade news in NBA history from an Apex stream, but here we are. I'm one of your hosts, the DOBAN. And to my right, as always, ride or die, big man on the sticks.
W shit. Preyter, what up? What good? What happened?
What is going on? This week on the hottest esports podcast on the planet, we have a couple topics, couple things making the rounds in the space of esports. Big moves happening over in Counter-Strike League. We've got the end of ALGS championships.
For year 4, absolutely.
Yep,
End of year 4. A little preview for year 5 we can talk about.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of Dota stuff. Nothing too crazy, just FPG I think ended. So we got that to talk about. But yeah, just a myriad of topics today, this week. And I guess with the intro, we can jump into Apex. Do you want to start somewhere else?
I say give me the CS update first, because Apex I have like a larger thing that I think we can save.
CS is still ongoing, so
let's knock out CS. Let's knock out League, because I don't think we have a ton on those. Let's get them out of the way, and then we can move forward from there.
No doubt. In the same vein as CS, I do want to hear some of your thoughts as we've progressed into another week of VCT. So I do want to get more of that. I'm gonna keep pounding you on this.
I was gonna say no. Please do. The only reason I don't bring it up is because spoiler alerts, hasn't changed a lot. But please do. Please keep pounding me for updates. I know for a fact there is a game going on as we speak. I believe G2 is up against Sentinels right now in the Americas. And when I checked the score going into this, G2 was beating the shit out of Sentinels.
I was gonna say, good old Sentinels, they haven't been good since 10th left, so, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was saying, last time I checked, it was like 5-1. Yeah, I'm looking now, it's 6-1. I don't know. Yeah.
10's leaving is like trading Anthony Davis to the Mavericks. Anyways.
We'll get into that.
They didn't trade him. He left on his own volition. He retired from Valorant because he played for 3 years, and he's just I just want to be a streamer.
He's like, I'm a streamer. Yeah.
We'll
as
many an esports pro finds out, they just make more money streaming, so they just don't need to be esports.
You're
pros.
doing it for the love of the game.
You really are.
The game a lot of the time.
You really are. Like you do it because it was your dream, and not because you want to make money. Because you could just get a job.
You could probably be more successful as a streamer in some of these games.
You could do anything else and make more in a more consistent manner, because we've had the scandals of Bleed, aka Loan Sharks, aka scams of teams.
Another funny reoccurring thing that was happening in Apex is definitely anytime someone would mistakenly say Bleed is on the B stream, they would say, fuck Bleed, pay your players.
For real, send those guys paychecks. Get that guy in jail for his assault charges, and then take everything he has.
Take everything he has.
But onto the big things we got going on. We got Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is currently, as it usually does, going through not a major, but a bigger tier 1 tournament. We've got IEM Katowice 2025. Good old classic.
A legacied event.
Yes, everybody knows their Katowice Titan Hollows, right? Or your what was it? What's the team with the R and the joystick? I forgot their name. It's not Renegades, but it's the other one. But your Hollow stickers from like 2014 that everybody wants to get their hands on. Katowice is going on, and it's been kind of insane. It's been kind of nuts on and off the server, because outside of teams just straight up beefing with each other across like the table, or I guess there's not like a table between them, but there's
technically 2 tables between them.
There are 2 tables between them, and then there's a hallway, so across the hall from each other. But
across the aisle, as we say.
Across the aisle, there we go. I was gonna say corridor, but aisle is more fitting. The French teams are like losing at each other, and listen, anybody talking shit to Vitality is good in my book.
W shit.
I'm sick of those guys winning.
W shit.
EF made a very good run, very hype run, and we're big EF fans out here. At least I am. Shout out Madger, Woxic, all those guys, Wacadia, popping off. Just they had a game recently against Mongols that if you haven't watched it, I would definitely watch it. Unfortunately, they lose. It's quarterfinals, and unfortunately, Eternal Fire lose both maps. But I believe it's map 2. They take it to overtime, and you start that game off, and Mongols is on fire. They're crushing it, and you're like, damn, EF is in a slump. Like, there's no way they win this game. And then they just pick it up. Like it's like 10 to 7 or 10 to 4 or something like that, and then they just pick it up. They're just running this game, and it's back and forth. It's good CS, and Madger, my favorite player right now. Dude's just a dad, loves his kids, loves his family. Love that. It's a great storyline, dude.
We love that.
I love it. Every time I see Madger win, I'm just like that guy's doing it for that guy's got a family he's doing this for. He's got conviction. He's doing it for a reason.
Hashtag dad lore.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah, dude. It's great. Shouts out to his kid every time he's getting interviewed. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be shit.
But yeah, FaZe had an okay run. Eternal Fire beat them. I guess they're still getting used to having a liege on the team. They're kind of getting used to playing with each other, so it's fine. And they got rid of Rops for a liege, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Check their roster real quick. Yeah, they got rid of Rops, so just kind of getting in the flow of things. They did have an okay lower bracket run in their group, so that was pretty good on them. 3D Max kind of showing up a little bit was a little nuts, and that's where some of the beef starts, if I'm not mistaken. Was 3D Max and Vitality were going back and forth, and Vitality of course won because they're the better French team. But
yes,
yeah, man, just watch the banter between, what's the kid's name? I'm losing it. I think it's Gravity. Yeah, Gravity screaming across the aisle, and just he's telling them, he's you gotta click, bro, you gotta click. He called them noobs. It was
getting real.
It was getting pretty real. And then Vitality would God, I can't speak. Vitality would win a round, and a lot of W's. and they would just start popping off, and Apex would just start losing his mind again. And it makes for good CS. I'm a Vitality hater, so every time Apex pops off, I'm like, dude, you're 30, relax.
Yeah.
Listen, man, he's trash talking he's a 12-year-old home from school for summer vacation on BO2.
Listen, I as a proponent of hater energy, I get it. I totally understand it.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you that we need to apply equal rules here. If you think that guy's whack and shouldn't pop off, go for it. And when he gets pop off,
he should pop off like an adult. That's what I'm saying.
I used to be the first guy that every time Hungry Box popped off when he won in Melee, I said it was cringe. And
every time he would break down in tears.
Regardless, any person that popped off on him, whoever they was, it was always justified. Is that true? Probably not, but I felt that way.
No doubt. Every time I see HBox start crying at a major, I roll my eyes and I'm like, all right, get over it, dude. Get up,
Sometimes you just hate. It's okay. Hating's part of the sport's life. That's what it is. It goes beyond that. I told you the other day, I haven't heard more than 10 seconds of a Chappell Roan song. She's the worst. I have no justification as to why. I just feel that way.
Oh man. I was giggling while taking a drink. Almost took me out.
Sometimes you gotta hate. Sometimes hate is your blood.
I do like some of the Chappell Roan songs, but I can understand.
Like I said, I might too. Couldn't tell you though. I just hate her.
He was not fuck with the makeup.
It's the vibe. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you're right. It's just the vibe. The vibe I get, whack is all hell. Like I said, never heard more than 10 seconds of a song. Couldn't tell you if that was justified or not.
He heard Pink Pony Club. He's like, I don't know what that is. Off.
This is trash.
Anyways, locking back in.
Yeah, lock back in.
Locking back in.
We hate. We're hating.
We're hating hard. Vitality still has unfortunately made it to grand finals, and the most
the hate could not keep them down.
the hate was not enough. They're too good of a team. Unfortunately, they 2-0'd Mongols, who have been hot this entire tournament. They've been on fire, taking down Liquid, taking down Gamer Legion. Which, how the fuck did Gamer Legion get this far? Taking down.
Sometimes you got it in you.
Na'Vi took them down. That's because Na'Vi is arguably the better team, but Mongols still qualified. BEF. Na'Vi loses to Spirit, as they always do. That's also a great storyline from this tournament. They played Spirit in their groups and won 2-1, which was like a huge thing for them, and then to 2-0 Mongols right after, who were playing out of their minds since groups, was also huge. But you know, Donk does Donk things. VP making it this far, also a little nuts. I was expecting Liquid, but you know, that's neither here nor there. Donk is Donk. 2-0's VP, 2-0's Na'Vi. It's light work. What are these games looking like? 8-13. Dust 2 was a bit closer, but that's because Dust 2 is a shit map. So, you know, what are you gonna do? Yeah, we'll take Overpass out of rotation, which is fine, but we'll leave in Dust 2. Okay, or no, I think they took Vertigo out.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'll take Vertigo over Dust 2 almost any day of the week, but
when we get into Apex, I also have some strong thoughts.
The
map that is getting added there.
Cool, buddy. Man, complain about a BR map to me, as like not someone who follows BRs very closely, is kind of nuts, because like it's just a field, man.
We'll get into it.
No, we'll get into it.
In Apex it matters. In Apex it matters. That's all I'm saying.
You're gonna educate me, man. I guess because like the POIs in Apex are like a bit more important, so massive. I get it. Huge. Yeah. I kind of get it, but you'll educate me on that.
Yeah,
but,
we'll talk.
Yeah, Mongols played out of their mind, lose to Vitality. So grand finals tomorrow, as of the day of recording, February 8th, 2025, is Vitality versus Spirit. Big up Spirit. Donk needs another trophy.
Yeah, that's the hope, right?
You know, let this kid keep winning to keep him away from the war. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. True for once.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but also, no, I mean, I agree. I think you want to see him keep winning, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just like it's a crazy story, and
it's a great.
You want to see it continue, right?
It is
like
a
kid's forming a legacy. That's something historic.
He is already just a generational talent. He has proved time and time again that current Donk is prime simple, and it is only going up. It's terrifying. And even then, all the young talent currently in CS right now, and you look at G2, right? Monacy, right? Cracked out player. Kid is insane. Yeah. Also, keep that kid with me, keep him out of the war. You know,
true.
CS is for the kids, man. Mongols.
No, yeah, it is wild. We were talking about it before. You're telling me Mongols. I was looking at the average age of everyone on Spirit. It's a lot younger than I thought. There's a generation, a new generation. None of them in the U.S. unfortunately, but elsewhere there is a generation of kids that are coming up and like taking CS2 by storm.
The place with probably the best infrastructure to support esports just isn't doing it, so we have no talent. It's fine. Elige is on phase though. Phase, you know, real game that recognizes game. Elige is on phase now. That's cool.
W shit.
W. But yeah, you got teams like Maus, pretty sure, Maus and Mongols, which are like some of the youngest average age teams, like some of the youngest teams in the league right now. So that's pretty sick. You've got, when you're talking about young generational talent, Monacy, Donk, you go to Brazil, you're looking at Snow. Like that kid is insane. Snow's story is pretty cool. And we talked about Snow before, like I think last year.
Yeah.
When Brazil was making like pretty big runs after IM Rio and stuff like that. Where Snow, which was great. This was a great story. Snow trained under Fallen when Fallen made like the CS Academy in Brazil to kind of like grow the scene. Shout out Fallen, you know, God save the scene. Snow like went to his course, kind of like proved himself, played in a lot of like local like leagues and stuff like that, leveled up, got on Pain, played out of his mind. Kid is a natural shit talker, love to see it. And they lost to Furia. Granted, Furia more experienced team, better players like overall, but either way, like there's a moment where they're like fist bumping everything, and Fallen goes over and then just gives like Snow like the biggest hug, because he's like it's kind of like the master versus the student kind of thing.
Yeah, it's the person he brought up, right?
Yeah,
it's a passing of the torch.
It's just so cool to see that. So it's great.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of Furia and history in the making, Imperial Female, unfortunately out of the tournament, losing to Big in the lower bracket during the play-in stage. So they've been out for a bit. Furia couldn't get to, I believe, the next tournament it's got like a weird name. It's in Bucharest, it's in Bucharest. Cluj-Napoca. I'm gonna butcher that.
Hell yeah.
Shout out all my Romanians. PGL Cluj-Napoca.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. That's like the next event happening, and I think Furia couldn't make it to that one. So they gave up their slot, and the Valve ranking and everything, Imperial Female gets to go. So they get more experience in Tier 1, which is phenomenal. Keep giving them matches.
That's actually really cool.
Keep letting them play, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that they get their visa stuff worked out so that Tori can show up and they can actually
we can get a full roster.
We can get like a full roster going, because again, their game with their full roster against Na'Vi, like a top 3 team, maybe even like the second best team.
Maybe top 2. I would say arguably the second.
I think it's like Spirit, G2, Na'Vi. I think that's like the ranking in my mind.
Right.
But like still, and then G2 and Na'Vi are like interchangeable for me, because they both lose to Spirit in equal amount, so it's fine.
Fair.
Right, like they just don't have Monacy, and that's kind of where it is, but they've got like JL, they've got all those guys on there, so it's fine. But still, like they gave them a run for their money. They took Furia to overtime, right? Granted,
no, they're putting up scores.
Getting 2-0 short.
They're putting up fights.
They're putting up numbers. It's fine. Like it's great. It's good CS to watch. It's awesome. Like if you love underdogs, this is like the perfect era of CS to be rooting for an underdog, and it's Imperial, and keep doing it because it's great. It's good CS.
100%.
But so Cluj-Napoca. I guess it's less fierce competition. You've got a lot more lower ranking teams, and not to be mean, but you've got Pain, you've got Saw, Wildcards is back, Astral is the Cadian, full Dutch team, the Dutch Dynasty is back. Where's the results? Show me the results. Right, they're not placing. It's fine. We got Cadian back. Great, cool. There's a big controversy. Bro's just looking washed. I'm sorry. Right, I can't do the shit he does. Still washed. I don't know. FlyQuest is going to be there big. Like, it's 3D Max. Like you're getting good Tier 1 talent, but you're not getting like the people that are just going to stomp the entire competition. The Navis, the Spirits, all those guys. So seeing Imperial there, I think this is like a kind of more their speed, like more their level right now, to kind of flex what they know, what they can do, and I predict they will make it farther, unless they have to go against Eternal Fire or Mongols, because then that might kind of put a damper on things. But yeah, that's kind of what we got for CS. That's stuff to look forward to. Stuff going on right now. A lot of great storylines. If I've said it once, I'll say it a billion times again. CS is probably one of the most entertaining esports to watch, just in general. It's up there with Tekken for me. So I think just like maybe play-ins you could skip, because the online stuff, when they're kind of just like in the pods doing the games, is less exciting. But when you get like the crowd stuff, and you could see all that energy, like if you're not there but you can see the energy through the streams and everything, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's cool.
For sure.
It's fun.
It's a game that gets played a lot year round. So it becomes like
there's
if you
always
try
something to
follow
watch
it all the time, it becomes a little hard, or like there's just a lot of it. But yeah, I always love a good major. You know, you can never underestimate a good CS major.
I would watch a lot of the ESL stuff, so like IEM is always good to watch.
Those are high level enough that I think you're right. Once people get to the LAN sections of it, right? Like it's
the LANs of IEM are always good. You can skip ESL Pro League. It's too many teams, and it's just so much CS at any given moment. Like if you watch all of EPL, I feel like you just get burnt out from CS, and I made that mistake last year, and I like missed the major because it was also in China. I'm like, I don't feel like watching this, but
Chinese time.
Yeah, watch the majors. IEM is always good. Blast events are always good.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Star Ladder is a seasoned event, and I'm surprised that there was a Star Ladder this year. I thought that would dissolve like that entire thing, but I guess we're back. So fucking peep Star Ladder, dude. I love Star Ladder.
Oh yeah.
Just what a legacy in esports those guys have. But yeah. So take it away. Take it away. I could talk about CS until I'm blue in the face. And
no, we're good.
We've got a schedule.
Yeah, so I mean, next thing we can run through it very quickly. I don't have a ton to say on it. Obviously, LCS is going on. We're getting down to the second half, if you will, of our shortened first split, where we are gonna see the last. Basically, we're gonna get down to the final 8 teams for the inter-conference bracket. Between the North and South
divisions.
Divisions, conferences, the same shit.
Yeah.
Currently, qualified out of the North, we have 100 Thieves as first seed, Cloud9 as second seed. 100 Thieves shocking a lot of people.
I was gonna say they're ready to get rid of their team, and now look at them.
I mean, still might. Who knows?
Sniper stepping up, man.
They are the first seed. Performing very well. It's cool to see all of them doing well. I do like that team. I think Sniper's a great breath of fresh air. I like Rivers a jungler, all that shit. So cool to see them going.
Always good to see good North American talent. You know, especially young North American talent. Kind of keep them in the region for a long time.
No, 100%.
Grow them here.
Cloud9's cool to see doing well just because I like Zven a lot. So him being back in AD carry, doing well is great. Obviously a little bittersweet because I still hold a grudge on them for running Jojo Pion out of the region. But it is what it is. But yeah, cool to see them doing well. Obviously, the big story is right now being that FlyQuest and TL, our previous number 1 and number 2, have not yet qualified. Though they are still in. Those are our games tomorrow. We have TL versus Shopify Rebellion for one of the spots, and then FlyQuest versus Dignitas for the other spot for the top 4.
Dignitas.
Dignitas. TL is looking surprisingly shaky for those who are not paying attention. That being said, I think it is partially due to the meta. I think with there just being inherently more objectives on the map right now in League of Legends, it forces more team fights, which was probably Team Liquid's biggest weakness last season. A lot of times they won by simply out-macroing you to create advantages. They were extremely good at lane swaps. The lane swaps this meta are much easier to execute in competitive play, so really anyone can do them. So, like, they don't really get a ton of benefit from being good at lane swaps because, like, they're just kind of easy. Like I said, all teams can just kind of do them. Yeah. It's harder to punish people for being bad at them. And they're inherently forced into more team fights because there are just more objectives to fight over. So teams have an easier time baiting them into team fights and just trying to outhands them. I think that was maybe the biggest thing that we saw go wrong for them in their matchup against 100 Thieves was they were just straight up being out team fought a lot of the time. And that's how Team Liquid got knocked to the lower bracket. That being said, I don't know what your thoughts on the matter are. I do think the game's tomorrow. If there's an upset, cool. I do not see a world in which TL are losing to Shopify Rebellion, and FlyQuest, I think, is certainly not losing to Dignitas.
Something catastrophic would have to happen for Shopify Rebellion to win those games. Something catastrophic for Liquid would have to happen. Because
I don't know. I do not foresee it. I think Shopify is okay.
Yeah, we're LTA teams, but these teams are on like two completely different levels from each other. So
yeah, I've obviously been watching, pros every week. They have this it's usually like an hour-long show where they basically have one of the LCS LTA North like analyst casters like a Raz or an Emily or someone like that sit down with usually it's like 3 pro players, each from a different team. And they'll just kind of shoot the shit, talk about the games, talk about current state of like the meta, stuff like that. And they had one with APA from Team Liquid, Sniper from 100 Thieves, and I believe it was XU from Dignitas. Dignitas is jungler. And I think I believe it was APA and Sniper were both in agreement that they think Shopify is the worst team in the league, much to XU's surprise. But yeah, so there are some pros that are very much of the thought that they think Shopify is the worst team in the LTA North at the moment. So, and APA was pretty adamant about that. APA said he swore that he thinks Shopify is the worst team in the region. So if TL were to lose the series tomorrow to Shopify, that would be very shocking, with that being out there in the wild for the world to hear. And then, FlyQuest versus Dignitas. To me, it's like, I think FlyQuest got snuck up on a little bit. I think it was a mixture of both things. I think they got snuck up on a little bit. I don't think they expected Cloud9 to be playing as well as they were. They lost a very close series, and now they're up against Dignitas.
Yeah.
I still think they are playing leagues better than Dignitas. I think Dignitas, though it has Surdy, right, who's a really awesome up-and-coming American talent in the top lane. Looks like someone that people can really get invested in. Hopefully he sticks around and improves. But I do think he's holding his own against storied Dignitas played against Team Liquid, right, for their first game of this split. And though he was not like solo killing Impact, he wasn't like fucking, just dunking all over him. This is this guy's first game in the LCS. Like, he was in Challenger Series before that. He was in Tier 2. This is his first Tier 1 a game. And he is up against the North American top laner, Impact, right? Like, godfather of the top lane. Like, literally the GOAT of top lane. Maybe the most storied, with the retirement of people like Bjergsen and shit, the most storied player currently playing in North America. And like I said, he wasn't dominating him. He wasn't going up in CS. The fact was, though, he was holding his own in that top lane. Like, straight up. Like, able to stand toe-to-toe and keep an even keel game. And, I think that is really big when you are up against someone like Impact for your first game in Tier 1, This being said, I think that team, if you look FlyQuest to Dignitas, you have mismatches in almost every lane. I think it's pretty rough. I think Quid is obviously the better mid laner. I think that fucking Bwipo is probably the better top laner. I think Inspired is a better jungler than XU. And I think the bot lane is Masu and Busio, who are definitely better than fucking Scary Jerry and Isles. So it's just one of those things where it's like, if Dignitas wants to win the series, they would have to literally they would have to overcome mismatches in every lane. I just think it's rough. But yeah, I don't know. Thoughts on the matchups?
No, I think it's pretty cut and dry, given the caliber of both of these teams. FlyQuest and Liquid, as we previously said, being the number 1 and number 2 teams in the region
from last year, literally last year, yeah.
Making runs. It's weird that they're not qualifying, but it's still early. Also, everybody's kind of getting their beirings with Fearless, new map objectives, kind of just everything's all over the place right now. So, the top teams aren't adjusting as quickly, but they're a bit more methodical in their approaches. So they'll definitely catch up eventually, and start to dominate as they normally do. But these matchups, yeah, no, I don't see a lot of these matchups going the way of Dignitas or Shopify. Unfortunately for them, the caliber of these teams is just too different. It's too different for them. They're playing a completely different game from each other at times, and it's just because some of these Dignitas, as you were saying, has great talent on their team, but they're just kind of in a space where they can't.
It's just an experience, I think, a lot of the time too. Like it's just a straight up experience.
Especially newer players.
Some of these places, it's tough. It's really tough,
and especially when you're a team like Shopify and stuff, where you're kind of shifting on your roster after every season. Where
you got this kind of like rebuild roster. Fudge back,
they're taking if we're gonna kind of keep nodding to NBA analogies because of Apex. It's like the Kings for like a couple of years back in the day, where they would just like kind of shit the bed all season and then get like a first round draft pick. and then
just test that one out.
And then test it out for a bit, make some trades here and there, and then like shit the bed for the rest of the season when it didn't work, and then try again next time. So now they're doing great. Shout out the Kings, but
there you go. Shout out to Kings.
Yeah.
No, I agree, but so you also said something interesting. So there are two topics in LCS that are probably worth exploring more than these games because they're kind of cut and dry.
Yeah.
The first of which, Fearless. We've now seen it for a little while across multiple regions. Obviously, the first international event for Stand is also going to be Fearless. What do you think? You digging it? You digging the Fearless?
I totally dig it. I think Fearless is a really interesting system. For me, more of a Dota fan, and real quick, while we're on the topic of MOBAs, I was wrong. FPG ended like a week ago. It is Blast Slam now. My mistake. I keep getting the reruns for it, and that's why I got confused. It is grand finals are tomorrow. Tundra versus Gaiman. Let's go Gaiman. Back to the main topic. No, I think Fearless is great. I think Fearless, again, coming from Dota, where there's a bit more flexibility in hero picks, in drafts. Sure, you get a lot of the same heroes because obviously there is a meta. But in League, where the meta is more kind of cut and dry,
it's a little top heavy. It's a little top heavy.
I'm sick of seeing the same champions every single game. And in series that are best of 3, I have to watch it for a minimum of 2 games, the same game play out. So it's not my favorite. I'm like, watching League isn't my favorite because of that, but Fearless has made it a lot more enjoyable because I'm seeing a lot more champs that and kind of having like the pros flex their chops on some of their more comfortable picks as opposed to some of the more meta picks. So stuff like that. Like, I think there was an LEC game or Scrim or something like that where like Baus was playing he was playing a Mumu. It wasn't Kennen. I thought it was Kennen, but it was a Mumu. But still,
the Mumu top.
Yeah, he was still running some bullshit. But
sounds like Baus,
the clip was like hilarious because he's like, I'm out. He's like half health, and then Cadrill's watching this game. He's like, what do you mean you're out? You're farming wave. He's like,
that's actually really funny.
Like they fight. I think they get a kill, and then Baus is like, I'm out, and then Cadrill's like, what do you mean you're proxying? Because he ran behind the bot lane tier 2 to catch a wave.
That's crazy, dude. He's talking he's trying to tell the owner, that's his team captain. Yeah. So that guy signs his paycheck.
he's like, I'm out, bro. I'm out. That was good. But yeah, no, Fearless is great. Fearless, I think is probably one of the best things to happen to competitive League. That might be a hot take amongst the hardcore LTA competitive League community, but I think it's fantastic. I think it's phenomenal. And even watching, I'm up late. I don't sleep very good, so I'll catch an LCK game sometimes. True. Watching what those motherfuckers can do with some of these champs, dude. Bro.
Yeah, there's some freaks out there that'll play some shit. Especially because I don't know if did you watch any of the games from last week? because there's some shit happening in some lanes that I think you would be a big fan of.
No, I miss those because the games kind of overlapped with some CS stuff. So I was watching Counter-Strike.
No worries.
Fill me in.
No shame. Elise is a premier support right now.
Hell yeah. Okay, I've seen that. I've seen the Elise support in a few games.
She's fucking gross.
Yeah.
Like it's gross.
Listen, man, I could have told you Elise was a good support.
100 Thieves was playing her. She got up like 4 kills before 10 minutes.
And you don't even build a good support.
She was walking around the map just sending spiders at people, and they were doing half of people's health bars.
Because you're not even doing support on support Elise. You're just throwing stuns and then
a fucking mage
doing a shit ton of damage.
It's so yes, and I think Fearless obviously enhanced that. I agree. I think Fearless has been very fun. The general sentiment from what I have gathered around the community is that people also like it. Okay. And the crazy part about it is we haven't even really seen the effects of it in North America fully because, to be honest, in best of 3, Fearless doesn't come into super effect, right? Because it's like, all right, you lose out on the first set of pick champs in game 1. Mm-hmm. Game 2, you kind of can probably keep the same bans, and you got to like move to a couple, or maybe you change the bans slightly, but like you really don't have to get that deep, right? Especially if it's a 2-0, because it's like whatever, you 2-0 it. You get to game 3, it starts to scratch the surface a little bit. When we now are moving to, like, when we move to game 5, like best of 5s in the actual bracket stage, that's where Fearless is going to get wild. Because if we get to a game 4, a game 5, suddenly we're 30, 40, like we're talking 30, 40. If we're at game 5, I mean, we would be at, 20, 40, 60. I mean, like the number of champs that are just literally off the table at game 5 of a best of 5 is 80. You have 80 champions before bans. So by the end of bans, you're at 100 champions that are literally off the table for a game 5 in Fearless.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Like, and like I said, we haven't even gotten there yet. We are still in best of freeze where it but I do think the effect is somewhat immediate. Yeah.
Yeah, I do see the problem as, series go longer. It gets like, okay, you can only play these champs, right? Because of Fearless. So then the flexibility, the drafts kind of it just happens in reverse, right? Instead of just picking the good champs every game, now it's like you've picked all the good champs and now you're forced to play champs that are kind of just mid.
But I think that's kind of the point too, right? Because at a certain point, and so I have also heard that coaches love it because they get to feel like they have more of an impact.
They get to do something
because Well, it's just like they don't. It's not just draft prep anymore, right? Like they are literally having to on the fly problem solve,
right?
Because like they have to not only think about the comp right now, like the comp they are forming right now for the game at hand, they have to think about what that's going to do in the future. Do we need to use this pick now? Does it matter? Like, will it come up later? So,
and they could draft a bit crazier early on too. They could just be like, throw in I don't know who's bad right now. Rel?
No, Rel's great.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't, dude. I'm so I knew Rel was good a bit ago, but I don't know if Rel was still good.
No, yeah, she's still good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, you can try to save power picks for later games and try to pick comfort early or whatever. But yeah, the point is, like you said, coaches have more of an impact because they're not just draft prepping the night before and then executing the day of.
Yeah,
they are literally having to openly change drafts game to game because Fearless is taking champs out of the pool. And that shit will super matter if a game goes the distance in a best of 5. Like super fucking matter.
The mental really game of the draft.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm super excited to see it. If we can get a game 5, like I really hope that when we get to the inter conference games, because the later ends of that are obviously the finals is best of 5, right?
Right.
So I hope that whatever happens in that conference finals, I hope that shit goes the distance because I would love to see what a draft looks like for
the Southern Conference
game 5. Well, no, for both like the February 23rd is the cross conference finals, so it's both. That's after the brackets intermingle.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going into the cross shit. I believe February 15th will be the first part of the cross conference games. So that's when we'll actually be, literally competing cross conference against the South.
I got you.
I think the 2 first seeds. I know Leviathan is the South Conference's first seed, and then we obviously have 100T, and then I don't know the team name, but IE is the South Conference second seed.
I'll pull it up for you.
I was gonna say I don't know what the actual team for South Conference is, but they're
Isurus Estral.
Is serious. Isurus. Yeah, Isurus. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Isurus. Isurus is the second seed.
And then Keaton and Fluxo are 7th and 8th.
Oh, they're out? That would mean if they're 7 8, that means they're straight up eliminated.
It looks like it. That's what it's standing at like right now. But
damn, that's kind of crazy.
Wikipedia shows Isurus is their first seed and Leviathan is their second.
Really?
That's what Wikipedia says for LTA South.
I mean, maybe
it's outdated.
I was just judging off the schedule. You might be right. I legitimately don't know. I just saw that 100T and Leviathan are playing. They're the first 2 teams to play cross conference, so I assumed it was both first seeds. But maybe they're flipping it. Like maybe it's first seed, second seed, first seed, second.
That's
seed.
what I'm getting here. I don't know how. I don't know if that's. Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's my main point is with Fearless, I want to see a game 5 because I want to see what a draft looks like on game 5 of Fearless. Because like we said, that is so many champions out of the pool. Like you gotta be pure comfort at that point, right? Like there's nothing meta left. There are not 100 meta champions. Like I don't give a fuck. Like is there more than 100 viable champions? Sure. But like that's really like we're testing some chops or we're saving some shit for nationals type shit.
Yeah.
Like
we're busting out this crazy draft for MSI. You won't even know it.
Yeah, I want some of these to go the different, and I would love to see that at first stand too, because that international event is also Fearless. So but yeah, I agree with you. I think Fearless is really cool. I'm glad that this first split is Fearless. I think it is kind of a novelty split, and without this, it would be way worse. So it's cool to see it. Hell, I was on Dive, the Dive, which is the LCS podcast or LTA North podcast now. Azael was on there, and Azael was like, dude, he was like, I'll be honest, you could turn the entire year Fearless, and I think it'd probably be a good idea. And
I agree.
I kind of see a precedent for it. I do. I'll say it. I understand the purist mentality of where like I kind of don't want it at Worlds. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just don't want it at Worlds. I feel like that is the game is the game. Like, yes, yeah, I just
that's where you really
it's
get
the purist in
me.
It's the traditionalist in me. I'm just like, listen, the game must be in its purest form at Worlds, and Fearless is like adding another element onto it that I think can be tested elsewhere.
I get it, right? It's like highest level competition. You want to like focus on consistency to get the wins.
Yeah, the consistent purest form, best team in purest form, right?
I can understand that. At the same time, I think Worlds is really where you get to see Fearless kind of stand out because you get to really flex those like drafting chops, right? Like are all these like South Korean teams winning because they're like really good at what's good, or are they like are they kind of just beasts at everything, right? That's when you really start to break that down.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just where I draw the line because I think Worlds, no. If you told me you wanted to turn both, well, First Stand, obviously, we know is the Fearless event, right? Yeah. That's the Fearless International event. That's fine. Obviously, it's a bit of a limited sample size because literally they're just taking the first seed from every region.
Yeah.
So it's 5 teams, so like there's no seconds. If you wanted to turn MSI into a Fearless tournament, I'd probably be down for it.
I would have been mad about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I think it would be cool. But yeah, something about Worlds, it's just the highest seat. I just don't think you touch it. I wouldn't touch it. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll be honest with you. I could see a world, especially with how well it's been received. I could see a world where the game shifts more towards Fearless as time goes on. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Yeah, that would have to be like a literal, like a global change. And I really don't know how Fearless is received outside of North America, right? Like, I don't know. Does the Chinese audience like it? I don't know. Does, are the Korean, audiences liking it right now? I don't know. But I think, yeah, obviously if they were to make a global shift to full Fearless all the time, that'd be really big. And I think it's not something they'd be willing to do unless everyone is definitely like, yeah, we love this shit. We want more of it. Right.
I want your prediction on something real quick.
Yes.
For LTA South.
Okay.
The lower bracket, as it stands, the semifinals are currently Red Canids versus Loud and Pain versus Furia.
Okay.
Who do you think comes out from those games?
It's tough. I'll say I have not been paying. I usually catch some of the last couple games before LTA North starts.
Yeah.
So that is kind of my whole thing on the South. This goes back to what I was bitching about in the previous episode that we talked about this, about there not being an official broadcast.
I think it was like 2 episodes ago.
Was that 2 episodes ago, or was that last episode?
No, because last episode we did guest characters. It was the episode before that. Oh wait, no.
I'm saying,
it might have been
because one that's not out yet, right?
Yeah, the episode that's not out that should be out but isn't out because
it's cooking, it's coming. It's coming.
I've been all over the place.
No worries. That's fine.
Yes. Last episode that we recorded that's not posted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will be posted by the time this goes live. So yes, last episode.
I bitched about it in that one. Just lack of a main broadcast for the South. I no offense to I Will Dominate. Obviously a great co-streamer, does a lot for the scene, has his was supporting shit like the English broadcast of the LPL himself, stuff like that. Great dude. I just he is not the official broadcast I'm looking for when I'm trying to watch, and he is what they point to as the official source for the English broadcast.
Watching LTA North, right, or watching LCS or any official broadcast, you get the stats, you get some higher level insight into what's going on, and you get the breakdowns.
Like I said, you get people who are invested in telling you the story of the region.
Yeah.
I Will Dominate is focusing on many regions at the time. So just by the nature of him being a one-man show who's co-streaming multiple regions and trying to talk about multiple regions stories, he's not going to give me the depth I'm looking for to get invested in what's happening in the South.
Right.
Period. End of story. And it sucks. Yeah. That being said, I would have told you Pain, but they're in the lower bracket, so that tells me that something's going on. Mainly because I know Teton, and that's I believe Teton is still on Pain.
Pain is only there because they lost to Leviathan, though, and Leviathan is their second.
Okay, sure. So, yeah, I've heard Leviathan's very good from what I've picked up. So I think Pain's probably out, right? Pain makes it out over Furia.
Okay.
I'm gonna make the guess. Let me see.
So wait, Pain goes through. You're saying?
Yes, I'm saying they make it to the inner conference.
They make it to okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking over a Red Candidates roster. Let's see. We've got. Is there anyone I know here?
They have
Brants.
They
okay,
have less
I know Brants.
Koreans than Loud.
It's a bad sign.
They have 3 less Koreans than Loud. How Loud was allowed to get 3 Koreans?
This is a full ass Brazil squad. Holy shit. Red Cannon's a full ass Brazil squad. So who's Loud got? Because Loud
Wizrout, Winsome, Tinones.
Oh, they got Winsome.
Yeah.
Oh
and
shit.
Robo.
Winsome's technically American, so he doesn't count as a Korean.
He was bred in NA.
Yeah.
That's why he's allowed to be there.
True.
That's why they're allowed to have 3 Korean players, man.
Yeah.
Shout out the random Australian dude on Keyed.
W shit. I'm gonna say Loud. Looking at this roster, I just You got a Korean jungler. You got a Korean ADC. I know Winsome. I've seen Winsome played for Cloud9 and LCS.
We've got established talent there. Established America's talent there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I think Red Candids, it's an L. Sorry. And then I'm gonna give it to Pain over Furia. Just because I've seen Pain on the world stage. I have to hope they'll make it through because they took out fucking 100 Thieves in play-ins. So yeah, man, I need them to get there.
Yeah.
For my own just so I can get a run back and they can get their shit stomped in cross continental.
Pain also has 2 more Koreans than Furia does. So
and to be fair, like because it's Wiser. Wiser's good. Like Wiser is in top lane, right?
Wiser and
really
Kuri.
Good. And Kuri's
the support.
And that bot lane is mean. Like Teton, obviously a Brazilian player, that dude's good as fuck. He's a really good bot laner. Like that guy's crazy good.
I like that it's Teton and not Titan.
I call him like I have always heard it.
Yeah. Because of the pronunciation. Yeah. No, I think that is a better name. I think Teton is actually cooler.
It's more interesting for sure.
Yeah.
More interesting.
They love the capitalized N.
Yeah. But yeah, no. I think for sure Pain. And then I think probably Loud would be my guess for
all right. I think that's pretty solid.
Round out your top 4.
I was gonna take Furia, but upon comparing rosters and looking at the performance throughout this bracket, Furia succeeded over Fluxo, and considering how Fluxo was like the 7th
is
seed,
now out. Yeah, is now literally out. Like,
8th seed probably because Keed got a game off of Loud, so.
Yeah, by tiebreaker standpoint.
Yeah, considering that they're 8th seed, I'm like, maybe it's not happening. But they also lost to the 1st seed, so like
when you told me who Pain lost to, I think it paints a better picture because
Pain losing to
from what I've heard, their top 2 are pretty solid.
Yeah, and then Furia losing to Isurus is like okay, well,
sure, yeah,
so yeah. That seems pretty solid. I'm not gonna press you on seeding because they haven't made me care about the South yet. So
I was gonna say, to me, the seeding is a little like because they basically what happens is they fight. From what I know, they fight a best of 1 to determine seeding. Like that's how 100 Thieves got their first seed over Cloud9. Is Cloud9 and 100 Thieves played a best of 1 to determine 1st and 2nd seed, and like. That game legit was like a coin flip. Like Cloud9 drafted a comp that needed to win like fast. Like it was a very snowball-y comp. They kind of lose out on some really early game interactions that set them behind.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to get a fight by taking objectives, and 100 Thieves, more power to them. They played it smart. Basically, we're just handing them objectives because they're like, yeah, bitch, you're already out of the game. Like if we come and fight you, you get a bunch of kills and get back in. Sure, take 1 or 2 dragons. We don't care. See you in 20 minutes when you lose. And that's what happened. Like it was that game was over by 15, like
yeah. I get you.
Cuz that game was legit, and like I don't think 100 Thieves was like a massively better team than Cloud9 to get 1st seed. Like I said, that game it's a best of 1, and I think you get a bad draft, all right, you're 2nd seed, like whatever. And that's how that felt to me. So I'm not going to put too much on seeding in general. But yeah, I think that wraps
That kind of
League
wraps
of Legends.
Yeah,
that wraps League of Legends. So yeah, we can put the brakes and we can talk about one last the latest big event, the ALGS Champs, which happened in Japan.
It's about damn time.
About damn time. And kind of the end of Apex Year 4. They've previewed some stuff that I know about going into Year 5 that we'll talk about, but I do want to talk about the event first a bit. So let me preface this with a little bit of setup, right? Because you talked about, catching a trade. We both caught a trade, an NBA trade live.
It was like, 1 in the morning, and then
it was
Greek is like, holy shit, they just traded Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic.
I was explaining this to someone how wild it was because the on screen. So yeah, let's say I as I've said many times, I watch all my competitive Apex through the Nice Week in Greek B streams.
Yes.
Every time, without fail. I know you were watching a bit. I don't know how much you watched through B stream and how much you watched through mainstream, but I know you were catching when you could.
I caught the A stream was on, and then I was like, hey, what's the link for the B stream? Because I know you like the B stream. So,
I love the B stream.
Yeah, I opened the A stream for like a second to see if I could find it, but then I texted you.
Let me ask you this: from what you watched, what do you think of the B stream as like a thing?
Oh, dude, it's great. It's like hanging out. It's
like
hanging out with the boys, dude. It's like a Nice Week was walking around jersey swapping like every game. That was sick. He was like, was he crushing claws or Red Bulls? I don't even know.
No, they were hitting Red Bulls. Yeah, they were on the Red Bulls.
They were crushing bulls like all night. His voice was like gone. It was great. It was like hanging with the boys.
I'm not gonna lie to you. He just sounds like that.
Okay, he said his voice was gone, but I believe it. But it was like
just having naturally raspy.
It felt like being at like a tailgate. Like it was great. It was so cool.
And the thing that's cool about it, right? Because like I said, you're right. It has the energy of just like it's very like off the cuff, just a lot of
for
raw,
all you gamers out
fan
there,
passion, energy shit.
For all you gamers out there that don't know what a tailgate is, it's when you go to a traditional sporting event, and you sit in the arena parking lot before the game starts, and you grill and crush beers and talk a bunch of shit, and then you go and watch the game, and you've already pre-gamed outside, so you don't have to buy stuff at the stadium other than beer, and it's a magical time.
Just hype. Yeah, you're just extra hype. Yeah, so it brings it.
It's, touch grass sometimes. Go to these things. If you're not going to go to a sporting event,
go to your favorite tailgate.
Go to an esports event.
Go to an esports tailgate. But yeah, so you see what I'm saying, where it's like you're right. The energy is there. This like very down home, like tailgate parking lot energy. But you can tell, like if you're someone who's invested in the game, those dudes know what they're spitting.
Oh
they know what they're talking
about.
No,
they definitely love the game.
Through the game. They love the game. That is apparent. Their passion for the game is super on display, and like they know what they're talking about. It's not a bunch of bullshit. They are talking about the game. They are informing on like what teams can be doing, what they should be doing, shit like that. And like all that is still there.
I was learning a lot
while maintaining that just good energy that you want, that doesn't feel like overly buttoned up or whatever.
There was a play, and I think it was a Furia like thing. I forget who they were pushing, but they were talking about like why Newcastle and like versus Rampart or something like that at one point.
Yeah.
And they're like to break the shield for the Newcastle if you have Rampart because Newcastle's good. Something like that.
No, yeah. She was literally like Rampart is included in comp team. Well, was included in comp teams during that LAN. Is literally a counter character to the Gibraltar Newcastle meta.
Yeah.
Because she can turret through walls.
Put up wall, put up bubble shield, and then, Rampart's like, oh, well, gone.
Rampart has to just wait for the bubble to drop, and then she drills through your wall with
put up my own shield with gun, drill through your shield, game over, right?
Yeah.
And like it makes sense, right? But as someone who's kind of disconnected from competitive Apex or Apex in general, I haven't played as much in a while. Like I barely know what a lot.
No, you're just tuning in. You don't know the meta for sure.
No, yeah, that was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like I see why they're doing that, and I could
get it. Yeah,
I could see plays being made and then understand what was happening because they explained that to me.
No, yeah. Like I said, so yeah, I'm glad that you watched it because you can see now firsthand why I hype those boys up so much as a great source for that game. Just so yes, to paint you to once again. So I want to get that. I want to talk about that. So yeah, to paint you the picture. I'm watching. You were watching at the time. We come off of. So I believe this was the day after. Yeah. So prior in the weekend, to explain how my weekend is going, just before that, NRG get put into the lower bracket and are in eliminations. Mm-hmm. I am up until 3 a.m. watching NRG play through eliminations.
Animal.
NRG obviously is my favorite team. They're my favorite Apex team. I love those boys. I think they're awesome. They're in a nail biter. They're getting fucking contested on in like the second to last game. 0-pointer, not good. Things are looking dicey. Finally, we get to the last game to get them out of the elimination bracket. Or, well, to move them to round 2 of eliminations, to be fair. It wasn't even fucking the elimination bracket. And they go out and are eliminated from the tournament in 10th on a tiebreaker. They literally had 10th, but they lost a tiebreaker to the team with Godspot and are eliminated from the tournament. I'm depressed. I'm upset. I'm mad as fuck. I go to bed mad. I seethe, the next day.
Punch in the air.
The next day, literally, I wake up to the NRG depression tweets, right?
Yep.
Instantly. My IGL, Nocturnal, my light in the shining sky, my favorite IGL, my GOAT, has a tweet that comes out, and he's like, it's a poetically written tweet, but it is saddening for me. I mean, we'll see what happens. Nothing's set in stone, right? But all we have to go on right now is this tweet. And it is basically, he was like, the start of my competitive career in Apex was us getting eliminated from Poland on a tiebreaker, and now I am out again on a tiebreaker, and it just feels like a poetic ending. I'm tired. And I'm like, well, fuck. Like,
Damn,
my favorite IGL might be out of the game.
Heartbroken.
That sucks. Yeah, that sucks ass. So I'm already depressed. I was mad. I stayed mad. Finals come around. I'm like, all right, well, I gotta watch finals. I need to watch finals. I want to watch it. You and I are watching separately. I've already got this amount of like hate in my heart, and then we're watching. And like you said, between two games, Greek looks down at his phone, and I believe his response is, "What the fuck?" And Wig is literally like, What's up? What's going on?" And he goes, "Bro, I think this is like the craziest trade in the history of the NBA." And he ends up reading it out. Like I said, this is 2 minutes. He got a tweet from notorious NBA roster move leaker Shams.
They were on break from game 3 to game 4, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
7 minutes between these games, right? Not a lot of time, but like a lot for esports. Right.
Yeah. No, there was a series of like technical difficulties that they had to get through.
They kept like restarting the round or whatever. Yeah.
Someone got a nosebleed at one point. Like it was a whole thing. But yeah, so they're on this like extended. Yeah, they're on this extended break, and like you said, he gets this fucking tweet. He reads it out. He announces, and it's from, for anyone who knows the NBA, it is a dude who is very well tuned and is usually right whenever he puts out a report about a trade or whatever. So, and this is as it happens, because like he said, he was getting his tweets sent to his phone because he knew that the trade deadline was coming up, because the trade deadline was happening.
Yeah, so he had notifications on. Yeah,
he had notifications on. He gets the notification. He reads out the trade. Like we said, the main blockbuster of the trade, Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks is traded to
fabled top or grandmaster.
Literally, you want to talk about also generational players, a current generational player, like straight up, a generational
but
player
also,
in the NBA,
also a fucking gamer,
future Hall
dude.
of Famer. True, also true. Yeah,
he's gnarly at Overwatch apparently. He's a grandmaster like Hanzo player or something like that.
Damn, I should know that.
Or Zarya. He plays either tank or Hanzo. I forgot who he was playing in that clip, but yeah. He's like in a GM lobby.
Yeah. Legit like a future Hall of Famer type shit. Yes. Like the way it's looking. Gets traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis.
The guy
I'm
with
not gonna
the
sit
unibrow.
here. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and like explain all the intricacies for those who don't know or don't care. Just know that's a bum ass trade.
It's a bum ass trade. That trade nets them like the Lakers. It
wins the Lakers a season, brother.
The most amazing trade they ever could have made. That's like getting I don't know what a gamers want. That's like getting a knife in CS for like all blues. Like you traded like 3 blues and they gave you they gave you like
they gave you a karambit.
They gave you
like
karambit.
a fucking factory new karambit. Like
you got a butterfly knife for 3 blues, and yeah.
And like
someone in chat was like, explain this in Apex terms, and then you put it in.
I told you it was like trading Hackis for like fucking like I don't know like Waltzy or some shit like that.
We've got it somewhere on Discord. We'll find it.
Yeah,
we'll put it in the description.
It is absurd to put it lightly. It is an absurd trade. It is like it is so insane from a Dallas Mavericks perspective that there are conspiracy theories that they're trying to burn down the team and move to Vegas because it's that ridiculous of a move for a franchise.
Vegas is trying to get a team, right? Because they want to do.
Yes.
They want Vegas to get a team.
Yes.
They want to bring back the Supersonics, and they want to give like a team to maybe Mexico City that was like in the talks at some point. I don't know.
Yeah,
this is all like
just to paint the picture. Like I said, this is so ridiculous of a terrible move if you are the Dallas Mavericks that people are convinced you are trying to literally melt your own team. Like that's how absurd this shit is.
And we found all this
insane. We find all like I said. So to bring this back to me, I'm a little bit of a basketball fan. It's not a secret.
We've watched a few games.
Yeah, I like me some basketball.
I
like my
LeBron
Miami
James.
Heat, and the Miami Heat have been suffering. And I'm a Lakers hater. I'm a LeBron hater. Yeah. We talked about hating earlier this podcast. Guess what? Yeah. I hate LeBron. I'm a LeBron hater, straight up. I'll say it outright. So I'm already pissed off that my team is out. My favorite IGL might be retiring, and my NRG team is breaking up. Mm-hmm. Maybe, I don't know. Like, it's all speculation at this point, but that's possible. It's in the cards.
It could be.
And
happening.
now I'm being told that one of the greatest players in the NBA currently is being traded to the Lakers for nothing.
Nothing. On top of that, Miami gets rid of Jimmy Butler.
Oh yeah, this is all while the Jimmy Butler shit is going on, which that finalized earlier or yesterday or whatever. I don't know if you saw that. He's going to the fucking Warriors.
He's going to the Warriors, and then we got we
actually get
Wiggins.
We get Wiggins, so it's like it's a decent trade. Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible idea. But whatever. Yes, I'm depressed about that too.
We have an incredible esports podcast, by the way. We talk about basketball like half the show sometimes.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great. Yeah. Keep it running.
Yeah, no. But yes, so you can see how my night is stacking up. That's my point. That's my point that I want to make. And I can't get a win. I can't get a win
on the edge.
I can't get a win. I'm already pissed off, and now I'm being told that LeBron is assured a 5th ring.
This is up there. This was up there with like me watching T.I. We all know what happened with me watching T.I.
Yeah.
I don't repeat that for the show.
So yeah, I'm already upset. The only thing I have to hold on to in this is that Complexity right now is doing well, which, spoiler alert, doesn't last.
Does not last. They're like, what, 7 points away, 9 points away from, like, taking the whole thing?
For 2 games, dude. They were, so it wasn't taking the whole thing. They were to go to match point, which, if you don't know, Apex match point format, it's the greatest BR format of all time the sense that once you get enough points, you are on match point, which means you have to win the lobby. And if you win the lobby, or if you win the game, you win the series.
Yeah. If you are first place, last team standing, you win it all.
Yes. You win it all as long as you have amassed 50 points in the games prior. At least 50 points.
Right.
And this was a long one. I believe this went 9 to 10 games. That's kind of long. Your average usually goes somewhere between 7 and 8. Fast is about 5 or 6 if someone's really nuking a lobby in match point. We saw EMEA, I believe, Alliance, the powerhouse of EMEA. I believe they torched a match point finals in 5. Pretty gross.
Yeah. They got like a 40 bomb in like one of those games or something, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was like I think they did 2 back-to-back like 25ers, and then like we're at match point by game 3 type shit. Like
couldn't close it.
Yeah.
Washed.
Yeah. No, but yeah, complexity fucking were. I believe game 6, and they were literally like 7 points off. They needed just to get some good placement, and they would have had match point. They get like bombed out really early that game. Finally get the points they need the game after that. But at that point, other teams are starting to get caught up, and I think by the time somebody won, which Go Next was the winners at the end of the day, I think half the lobby was on match point when Go Next won. So like at that point, it's a real shit show. Like anyone can really take it at that point. You're terrified of everybody. But yeah, all in all, is really good. I know this is your first time. What did you think? I'm curious how did you feel about the current meta? Did you think it was interesting? What were your thoughts on an Apex Champs series?
So from the little bit of like pro Apex that I've watched recently, right, when I've like kind of really paid attention to it a bit more, I think, you know, all the shields and stuff is kind of boring.
It's a fucked up meta right now.
I'm a run and gun kind of guy. Every time I play Apex, I yell at my friends because I'm like, it's a movement shooter. Just start running at them, and then they never want to do that. They're like, let's hold this hill, and I'm like, that's dumb. Let's push. I'm Octane. I have a jump pad. We can push. But you know, so I think the shields are kind of boring. I think, you know, find a spot, bubble, layer up 2 walls, and then play King of the Hill is kind of whack.
Is a builder's meta, right? Or it was a builder's meta, yeah. You pretty much saw Gibraltar and Newcastle on every comp, and then the third was interchangeable between a couple people.
Yeah, you had like Seeker, you had like a Vision Legend or whatever that you'd run, or something like that.
Some people would run Valkyrie, some people would run Rampart, some people would run Catalyst, and then you had a couple people running Loba, where you're average
Catalyst the one with like the ferrofluid?
Huh?
Is Catalyst the one with like the ferrofluid? Is that who that is? With like
yes. Yeah, okay. Catalyst is the one with the black goo. She puts up the giant wall. She puts down the spike pads.
She's got more walls. See, like it's shit like that, man. I don't know. I think in a game where I'm sliding, I'm carrying momentum, I'm tap strafing.
To be fair, her wall, you can move through it. It's just if you move through it, it slows you and like fucks your vision up.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. But I think
it's mostly, she was used as like, if you were a team that wanted to rotate, you would play Catalyst because she made your rotations easier. Yeah. Because obviously Newcastle and Gibraltar are great for, like you said, defending and setting up a King of the Hill. They are dog shit for rotation. They do nothing. You have a bubble and that's it. Like. Yeah.
So I feel like in a game that gives you so many movement options and is like kind of so dynamic to play and watch in that sense, I think it's kind of just boring to see them not do any of that.
I think it is a combination of multiple things that make this meta a little weird. I do think its end games are fun, even though they are kind of hectic as fuck.
Tighter
it's like
it's
like 17 fucking Gibraltar ults falling. Like, people just start getting nuked out of the lobby from Gibraltar ults and Rampart turrets going off, just drilling people. Yeah. I do think it's a two-pronged problem where the gun meta right now was also kind of gross because the basically the Scout, and which is like a DMR, and the charge rifle were disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, they are
so
disgusting weapons.
Kind of like sitting back and like, you know, taking pop shots until
just drilling motherfuckers. Like the charge rifle can drill people from a million miles out for like 140.
And it's like what? It's an energy weapon.
Were you watching that clip
right?
where
so,
fucking Monsoon on Complexity just drills somebody off a fucking evac balloon from like 150 yards out?
Call him Chris Kyle, man. The American sniper right here.
It was sick, dude. That clip is so funny because like he like drills them. And he doesn't even like, he drills them, he gets the knock from mad far out, and he just looks into like the player cam that is filming him, and he just goes, like he doesn't even say a word. Like he just like yells into the microphone. Awesome. It's very fucking funny.
Yeah. But like, so that for me was like whatever, but I don't like, it also gets a little hectic too with the different perspectives, and because I'm not too familiar, right? I'm like watching them run and like scale buildings and then like set up, and I'm like, okay, something might be happening. And then
when fights pop off in it, they pop off heavy. That's kind of what you need to know about competitive Apex, is because if people, when shit starts hitting the fan, especially in late circles, especially teams that are in what they think is a bad spot, if they see an opportunity to get a better spot, they'll third party at the slightest like sound.
There was like a clip at the start of, I think it was like game 3, where does C9 have a team?
Yes, no, C9 does.
Yeah, it was C9.
We'll get into that. They did, but yeah, they did there.
I think it was C9 in like a house, and then it might have been Furia that pushed them, and they were just like in a corner, like they had a wall, like I think Fury like set up a wall to box them into the corner, and they just like three of them just ran in and lasered them down.
Aggressive Newcastle walls are actually my favorite thing about the meta, unironically.
Yeah.
Because that is, you know, a lot of people will see a Newcastle wall, like his ultimate, where he does the Iron Man slam on the ground and creates a wall, right?
Uh-huh.
You would think, oh, it's defensive, it's to save a teammate, whatever. And that is true. But what separates your average Newcastle from a comp level Newcastle is knowing how to use wall aggressively. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you will see people initiate in comp Apex with Newcastle wall, like doing exactly what you're talking about, where they will slam onto an enemy team to get a concuss and a knockback, or like lock them into a corner and just like eviscerate. And you'll see like that fight. I think I know that's the one in the house on Stormpoint or whatever.
Yeah,
that one's crazy because they go from being in this room and the Newcastle walls and the other team's Newcastle counter walls. And they just end up splitting this tiny house with two walls in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And like fighting over it. Yeah.
And then they somehow get out. Like I think they drop one. And they somehow get out, and I think C9 turned it, if I'm not mistaken.
I would say, yeah, they get thirded immediately at all time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So like it was just kind of insane to watch. But so that was like 6. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Right? But then at the same time, like the perspective is kind of throwing me off. I don't know who the fuck I'm watching.
No, yeah, it's a lot of bouncing around, especially with like.
But granted, it's also the B stream,
around. Yeah.
And Greek was like the A stream has 37 people doing their production. It's like, if you want like that level, go watch the A stream because it's just us. We're 2 guys doing the work of 37 people.
No, it's true. It's both him. It is both. Each of them has a computer with 2 monitors, and like they are swapping like the perspective that the stream sees between the 2 monitors. So it's like
there's like an audio mixer in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if a fight is happening, they'll put up the fight on one monitor, and while that fight is happening and they're talking about it, the other person is like looking at the map to see if another fight is breaking out that they need to switch to or some shit like that. Like
that's why he brought it, because like someone in chat was just like, why do you pull the map so much? Or like mentions about the map, and he's like, we need it because we don't have somebody that can just do that off camera.
No, yeah,
it's just us.
And like I said, I really genuinely mean it when I say I would have it any other way.
It's great. It's great. That did not take away from the experience for me at all. I think it was.
But yeah, no, it's true. You are in the shit because like you're in there with them doing that shit. It is like you're in the shit. You're swapping team perspectives, like, you know, fight to, especially late game when it's like fight after fight after fight.
Yeah.
You'll bounce around a whole lot as teams are getting eliminated. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you liked it because, like I said, I really do stand for that game. From a comp perspective, I don't play it too much, but that's because all my friends are also whack and don't want to play it.
I will play it.
But I love it from a comp perspective. I think it's a super fun game to watch. It's got some great personalities in it. And it's really awesome. And I don't know if you've heard some of the shit going on for year 5, as they're calling it, Apex year 5. Some big balance changes, a couple of big rule changes to comp.
Ooh.
Some stuff that I want to throw at you and see with you as a new viewer what your thought is, what you're thinking, if you're down or not. So the biggest things happening, the first biggest thing I should say is the legend ban system that is going to be introduced for ALGS, right? Mm-hmm. So the way that it's going to work, apparently, from what they have said, is that basically they want to make a thing now where in a series, so your average series that's not a match point final, because obviously a match point series goes on literally until somebody wins, period. There's no set number of games. But when you're not in match point, you're usually playing somewhere between 6 to 8 games. 8's a little long. Normally it's like 6 or 7. But 8 happens sometimes.
Right.
The way that the ban system would work is essentially what they're saying is, so let's say game 1, the highest pick rate champion in the lobby So if in this case, right, you would almost constantly, it would be either Gibraltar or Newcastle, pretty much every time. So in game 1, let's say Newcastle is the most picked legend in the lobby. For game 2, no one would be allowed to pick Newcastle, and he would be banned for the remainder of the series.
Kind of
in
like
game
a
2,
system.
right? In game 2, let's say Gibraltar is now the most picked legend in the lobby. In game 3, Newcastle and Gibraltar are banned for the remainder of the series, and it goes like that. The highest pick rate champion in each lobby is banned for the remainder of the games. Yay or nay? What do you think? Give me your thoughts on that.
I'm leaning towards yay because we know how I feel about Fearless, and this just seems like another kind of iteration on the Fearless system. And I think, people love to play their character, and if they ever see their character get banned, they'll be mad. But at a high level where, they can play, they got flexibility, they know how to play the game. And I think seeing more characters, legends, champions, whatever they're called, is
same shit.
As a viewer, is more interesting because the strategies change, right? Seeing Gibby and Newcastle every game to just place walls, like I said before, was kind of boring to watch. Like as a new viewer, I was like, this is kind of a snooze fest when things aren't happening. Yeah. But when walls are exploding and there's like an airstrike coming in, I'm like, okay, I'm back in. But when they're just kind of like taking these like one-on-one fights or like a third party happens and everybody just like retreats to like bubbles and walls, I'm like, okay, like I'm over it. Right? Seeing more of like the crypto drones from like I think last year's, or some like Loba nonsense, even Revenant, like he doesn't do the revive anymore, right? He's got like, it's like an install now.
No, he does like an install and he goes like nuts. And I think it gives, when he does it, like I think his team gets like a shield or something temporarily.
Yeah, something like that is what like the strategies around like characters like that would be cooler to see. So
no, it's true, because you like in theory, if most of like in theory, right, like in a world where you have this like Gibraltar Newcastle like fortress meta, right, it actually makes it very difficult to play a comp like a Revenant comp, because a Revenant comp is basically just going to be like an ape shit kill people fight,
run at
like,
people and shoot them. That's
literally all it does. It doesn't do anything else. It apes for fights. And just tries to win in gunfights with better abilities.
The only thing is
these ones kind of make it impossible. But in a world where these champions are slowly depleting, these comps become more viable in a game 4 or a game 5.
So I'm into it. My only thing is like the roster size is a bit smaller than MOBAs.
It will. I worry about it. I don't know, because obviously I think they haven't ironed it out. I'm worried about it for match point. That's where I worry about it. If we're at game 9 and 8 of the legends are just gone, what the fuck do these comps look like? Like I don't know, right?
Because you have to pick 3 characters per team.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So you're down at 8 characters, right? And then you can pick 3. That leaves 5 in the pool. Like 5 possibilities or whatever.
And like these guys have like roles too. Like the whole idea is you still want to build a comp that works and makes sense.
If you're in a meta that's like Newcastle, Gibby, Rampart, right? You're getting rid of all like the controller kind of characters, the Watsons, the Caustics, right? Everybody like that is getting out, and then you're just left with like Fuse, Bango, Pathfinder, like just nonsense.
You're right. That is what I worry about, is if we hit like a game 8 or a game 9 and suddenly it's only like ape fight comps, and then guess what? By ring 6, half the lobby is dead because everyone has no other choice but to W key for no reason.
And then like there's no like full teams. It's like 2 guys here, 1 guy over here. Like nobody's got their full team.
The only point of everyone's comp is to just ape, so you just run into a bunch of gunfights. Yeah. Immediately we're at round 2 closing circle and half the teams are dead. Like
that's where like I'm at with it, because the little knowledge I have of Apex kind of is just like I've seen people run the Octane Wraith Revenant comp like in pub lobbies like every now and again. And it's guerrilla shit. They're just running at you.
It's a one-dimensional comp. It does one thing. It tries to run at someone and kill them.
You decided to loot a building. You've just got run up on from 3 different directions, and you try to get out, and they are invisible, jump padding at you. And then Revenant ults, and you just hear a scream.
And he's leaping. Yeah, he's leaping 10,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, he's flying at you like. What's like Wolverine's move in Rivals? Or he's like, he like dives at you. Yeah, he's doing that shit. Yeah, no, it's you're playing a horror movie at that point. So that's where I sit with it. That's where I'm at.
All right, cool. All right, I think we're in agreement there. So next thing that I will throw at you.
Yeah.
They want to apparently. They're trying to make the weapon meta a little bit better than what it is. So apparently they are buffing every weapon in the game with more damage to make gunfights faster. Yay or nay?
Well, if the problem is the game is sit down and just snipe, and then you make all the guns better, the snipers also get better, so you've just changed nothing. You've changed. This is a lateral move. You've done nothing. This doesn't change anything.
I somewhat agree with you, but that is the choice they're making. They said they are going to give every weapon in the game more damage to make gunfights faster. They're also removing helmets, except for one helmet type at mythic rarity.
So the snipers are still just good. You've just made the problem you're having the same problem.
They might nerf their clip size. Maybe they make other things worse. They will
have
more damage.
I have 5 bullets instead of 8 now. I can only kill 5 people at a time instead of the entire lobby. Great.
Okay, so not great. This is what I'm hearing from you. Not a great change.
It doesn't do anything. This isn't a change.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, let's keep going down the list. Assault Legends are getting buffed.
Okay.
Cool. So to give you
that kind
an
of
idea,
fixes things a little bit.
Yeah. So Assault Legends, to give you an idea, currently as they stand in the game are Bangalore, Fuse, Ash, Mad Maggie, and Ballistic, and they have said specifically that they are really trying. So for those who don't know, in Apex metas, obviously 3 out of the 5 of those have been meta before. Bangalore was a character that was massive in the meta for a long time. Fuse has been very good in multiple iterations. Mad Maggie has her days. She comes and goes depending on what other controllers are meta. If Gibraltar's good, she's kind of out because he kind of just kills all her momentum.
Yeah.
And there was a point in time back when her ball used to break Gibraltar Dome that she literally deleted Gibraltar from the meta. So they kind of weirdly counterpunch each other in and out of the meta. But she has been viable. Ash and Ballistic, on the other hand, have almost never been viable in comp. They're both considered very not great. They don't do a lot. They don't really help a team. They're not great in the assault category. Just kind of generally useless for comp. They said that they are actually trying to specifically rework Ballistic and Ash to be better serviced and, more comp viable.
Is Ballistic from the mobile game? I know there was exclusive Legends in that game.
No, there's a chick, a sound chick with sound waves and shit was the mobile exclusive. I actually don't know what she does or anything about her, or if that game is still around.
The mobile version's not around anymore. I think closed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they shut it down. Don't know why they wasted time on that.
Is that Conduit or is that?
No, Conduit's the Titan battery one. She's still around. She's a support. Ballistic is the old man. He has his ult is the smart gun from Titan.
Oh, okay.
Which Yeah.
Yeah, I love Titanfall.
Yes. So he has a smart pistol basically as his ult. But yeah, never been good. Both of them pretty bad. General thoughts on Assault on these Legends getting buffs? Because as you saw, none of these were in meta right now from what you were watching.
I think,
for obvious reasons. Yeah.
We saw a lot of Bango last year, so I think we're kind of just.
She was massive for a while because
I think we just take a step back to last year, but with the increased damage of the lateral move of just the guns that are good are just going to stay
do
good.
More damage, yeah.
Right? I think we're just going to see Gibraltar, Newcastle, Bango as the meta comp. It's okay, I can put these walls down, and then when the walls get fucked, I can just put down a smoke and reposition and put my walls back up somewhere else.
Okay, fair.
Or I can throw a smoke at this wall and psych them out, and they're like, fuck, they can see us. And then, just whatever. Like, I feel like there's like some set play there for it. So
Okay.
I don't know. I think
So I'm gonna. No, go ahead.
I think they have like aggressive ults, which are good because then that kind of forces like the repositioning from the shield. Like it.
They're all very playmaking.
Yeah. Bangalore's is like, okay, get in a shield. Fuse is like, okay, we've broken a shield. I don't really know what Maggie's ult does. The smart pistol just feels useless.
Yeah, the smart pistol was kind of whack, but it was good in a gunfight. Ashe is obviously a go button. She makes a one-way portal that people go in.
Yeah.
Mad Maggie throws a giant ball that rolls like until it basically hits something or goes really, really far. The ball leaves in a trail behind it little power-ups that boost people's speed so her team can follow it in. And when it does explode, it concusses and deals damage.
So like in a
it also breaks doors and shit.
In a band system, right? If we're like leaning towards like guerrilla comps, I can see that being useful. I can see like
she is a decent initiator.
I can see like when the skirmishers or whatever. I pulled the Wikipedia page, so I'm getting the terminologies.
Yeah, skirmishers. So skirmishers are a funny thing to give you an idea here, because skirmishers are most of the people who are skirmishers are put there because their kit is too good, so they give them the most dog shit like perk in the game, which is you can see it's not useless. I don't want to sound like that, but the skirmisher perk is literally you can see what's in a care package when it comes down. Nothing else. But they put people like Horizon and Valkyrie.
They get 50 shield for each scanned care package, though. That's kind of huge.
That is new. They did buff that. That used to not be the case. But yeah, they did buff that for Evo to give them like an Evo thing.
Which I think is fine because they're just like running around taking gunfights most of the time. So.
Yeah. The whole reason people like Horizon and Valkyrie and Wraith got put in there is because you can't put them in Assault because they're already their kit is just too good. You can't put them in Recon because their kit is already just too good.
Yeah.
So give them the worst perk in the game with Skirmisher.
So I can see like Maggie getting her time in the sun as the Newcastles and Gibraltars get banned out, but I don't think the meta's shifting as heavily as people might want it to. But then I could be wrong. Like I'm not like an Apex player.
Yeah, so. We're taking shots. I'm just throwing shit at you and seeing what you say because I think it's interesting and I want to throw it by you.
Yeah.
So here are the Assault Legend perks. I'm gonna throw these at you. Tell me yay or nay on these. So these are what Assault Legends are getting specifically. They get a new perk called Stowed Reload, which auto reloads any stowed weapon after 2 seconds. They get a perk called Combat Reserve, which is they get 2 specific slots in inventory for grenades. So they get extra inventory for carrying grenades. And they get a perk called Battle Surge, which is when Assault Legends crack an enemy shield, they get this buff, which gives them a temporary speed boost, faster reloads, and highlights the cracked target for their team. Thoughts?
That's kind of massive.
Kind of gross. I agree.
I like you can already see people in Bangalore smokes, so she didn't need that. But fine.
Well, no. So yeah, they took infrared sights out of the game for that reason. So those literally don't exist. Besides, I think they can only go on SMGs now. And currently, obviously, this could change with the gun meta. Right now, SMGs are dog shit across.
But they're getting a damage buff now, so.
But everything's getting a damage buff, so who knows where it shakes out?
Yeah, true. They might be. They might be like.
I actually take that back. They actually took infrared off of SMGs too. Right now, where attachments exist in the game, shotguns are the only thing that can take infrareds.
Peacemaker's not in the game right now, right? Or is it still in the game?
No, it's still there. It's pretty good. I would say that right now we're in a decent shotgun meta. Peacekeeper, Mastiff, both pretty good. But yeah, what do you think about those perks on a face value?
Real quick, side tangent. I just got like a crazy ad for Naraka, and it just took me out of what I was thinking for a second. Freaking Bruce Lee and Geralt of Rivia on the same screen.
Yeah, that sounds like Naraka. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's the World Martial Arts Mastery. Like, what am I looking at? All right, it's gone now. I can go back to thinking about Apex. Oh. I looked up and I'm like, oh, that's Geralt. And I looked above Geralt. I'm like, is that fucking Bruce Lee?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All there.
Guns and shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just the perks. Don't worry too much about the gun battle.
The perks. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you. That again, it took me out. I'm like,
no, you're fine. Yeah. Those assault perks. Seem good. Seem a little gross. They seem sick. Give me the thought.
The vision one with the crack shield seems a little gross.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
The movement speed is like fine because it's
good for smelling blood. Yeah, I was gonna say that's the whole idea. You get a crack, you smell some blood, you get in there. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you get it, you want to use it, right? They're cracked. You know you have this info now, so I can see that pushing more aggressive metas, and because of that, because there's a bit more, they're trying to get more aggressive. I can see maybe SMGs being good in a way, right? You might run run the snipe like the DMR SMG build, right? That might be the play.
The old school classic for sure. You know, Scout R99 double lights, stuff like that.
The extra grenade slots is kind of busted.
Fine, yeah, I think it's good. Like as someone who knows comp, I think it's solid. But like I don't think it's
with
like
how
crazy.
Useful grenades are in Apex.
It makes your, if you're running an assault, it makes your inventory space nicer. Like it's helpful. 100%. Because like, especially for people like Fuse who can stack them in weird ways
not
already.
Carrying like frag grenades. I mean, he might carry like an arc star every now and again to just get a good push. But like the Ashes, the Bangalores of the game are gonna want to stock up there because they want to set that shit up and then
it's free real estate, which is nice in Apex.
Like if you're Ash, you want to like hit an arc star, crack a shield with a frag, box him out with some incendiaries, and then portal in and pick up a squad wipe. That is your gate. You're gonna tether them to. She still has a tether.
Yeah, her Q does.
Yeah, okay. You're gonna tether them all together.
It's like a snare. Yeah.
You're gonna start beaming whatever health they have left, and that's your game plan, right? So grenades are kind of cool. It's pretty good. I don't think it's gross, but it's good.
Yeah.
Shield cracking, vision, speed boost, disgusting.
Faster reload. Yeah.
And then the stowed reload I really like. I think
it's a neat quality of life thing for assaults. Yeah, I don't think it's because I mean it's good, but like if the
DMR SMG or DMR shotgun thing comes to fruition, right? If my predictions are correct here, then I think the usefulness of having that there is gonna
really solid.
It's gonna show itself to be very useful as the meta develops. So yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think it's egregious or anything. I think it's fine. I think it's good.
Cool.
But yeah, so
to give you my perspective, I agree with pretty much most of what you're saying. Battle Surge, I also think you're right. I don't even think it's like, I think them getting a speed boost and faster reloads on crack are solid and fine. The only place I get iffy on is them getting highlight for cracks. Because, like, that's pretty wild. Like, giving your full team vision of someone you cracked is, like, that's pretty strong. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, that is some promoting some ape shit if I've ever seen it. Like,
it's, Apex Predators are turned into gorillas, man.
Yeah, like that's wild, because that's the thing is, like, if someone gets cracked, like, obviously you as the cracking team, you're like, oh, we might be able to push this, maybe we push this.
Yeah.
But you don't have exact vision, so you still have to worry about it. Now you know exactly where the guy who is cracked is going to heal. And I mean, who knows how long it lasts? There's no specification.
Right. It might just be like a they ran behind a wall, boom, pulse, and that's it.
But yeah, even with that, even if it's 3 seconds, man, knowing where they're positioning to heal is a huge for an attacking team. Like,
it might make it. You know what? It might make Wraith a bit more meta because you're like in Visbury position.
Oh yeah.
So like that might become more useful with if assaults are, being high up in the meta. That's like your counter comp.
Yeah. So last thing for the assault changes that I will throw at you, because I think I'm throwing this at you because I think you will specifically like this when I hear this, because I know you like your movement shooter stuff. So the Ashe buffs are out there. So let me tell you.
Fuck yeah.
First one, her ultimate. So she's getting a buff to tether that I think is fine. It seems like a quality of life thing, where the tethers now snare from the tether location rather than the enemy target's location. It's kind of a quality thing. It makes her tether a little more consistent, less weird. Probably fine. Her ultimate gets to travel farther now. She moves through her team can move through the portal faster, and they improved the endpoint hit detection. Also fine. Here's what I think you will like specifically about Ashe, and I like it too, for the record. I think this is fucking sick. So, for those who don't know, her old passive was she could go to a death box and she would put a knife in it, and it would tell you
like where her squad is or something like that, right?
Yeah, wherever the rest, if the squad of the dead person was still alive and where they were at, right? Yeah. They've gotten rid of that.
Okay.
In its place, her passive is now an omnidirectional dash ability called Predator's Pursuit, which allows her to rapidly reposition in close combat or close the distance quickly on tethered targets.
Okay.
And it's got upgrades in her tree. So she now literally has like a quick dash in combat that can go in any direction.
She's got a skill tree?
Oh yeah, so you don't I guess you don't know about skill trees, huh? So
they have skill trees in this game now? Like every character has them?
It's linked, all of them do.
Oh,
so the way it works is whenever you upgrade your Evo, so at dealing damage, doing like PvE objectives, getting shit, all that stuff, you get the Evo, right?
Yeah.
Anytime your Evo upgrades, so you start on white. When you go to blue, you get to choose between 2 perks, and they're specific to legends. And then when you go to purple, you get to choose between 2 more perks, and obviously you pick there. But yeah, every legend has 2 perks. They have this little skill tree as they level up in Evo. So yeah, now she has an omnidirectional dash for her passive, and apparently that passive or the dash will be upgradable via perks in the skill tree.
Nice. I wonder if you can do it in the air.
We're getting an omnidirectional dash scene. I wouldn't be shocked. I think you probably could. Knowing the rules of this game, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they took tap strafing out for like a weekend.
That apparently was an oversight on their part. But yes, they did fix that. Yeah, that's what they said. They said it was unintended. They weren't trying to. They were trying to fix some movement. Stuff
I believe it. Some stuff clipping through geometry or whatever. Like sliding puts you through the floor sometimes or something like that. I get it.
But yeah, so yes, she is getting an omnidirectional dash that is apparently upgradable to 2 charges through her upgrade tree. Huh?
Carrying your momentum with that, with the assault, like a hunter buff is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's cool. I mean, obviously, you got to see how far
slides
it puts downhill
like
that.
Fucking keeps that momentum, jumps, dashes, you've flown across the map.
Yeah, it could be fun. Could be very fun.
That'd be a good time, yeah.
All right. So yeah, that was Ashe. The other big change. So I know you were saying you were interested in this before. So for those who don't know, the current map rotation in Apex Comp was for the longest time, for a very long time. It has been exclusively World's Edge, Storm Point. Just this last year, we talked about BLGS a couple times while that was going on the show. Mm-hmm. BLGS kind of served as a testing ground for the new map in Comp, which was called E-District. And for the record, even though some pros bitched because they didn't want it in Comp immediately, whatever, this, that, and the other thing, I think everyone has come to agree that E-District in Comp is a resounding success. It's a great map for Comp, has really fun end games, decent, pretty much all around, great map. Glad to have it in the Comp rotation. Say it again.
Cool POIs.
Yeah, cool POIs, great end games, just really fun map overall. Very healthy, just a good time, good map. And honestly, sorely needed. I think everyone and their mother hates World's Edge at this point. It's been in the game since launch pretty much. We know that game. Pros know that map inside and out. They can predict 90% of the fucking circles. We've seen the end games in that map play out a million times. So anything that can give us less World's Edge and more of other maps is great. So I'm really glad about E-District. Well, they have announced that for Year 5, they are adding Broken Moon into the comp map pool. I fucking hate that. We also tested Broken Moon during BLGS. BLGS had Broken Moon as a map that was playable, and it would swap between Broken Moon and E-District. And it definitely seemed like a way to test both of those maps in comp. And while E-District, I think, was a resounding success, Broken Moon, I think in its current state, they might rework it. I don't know. We'll see what the map changes look like. But in its current state, I think is awful. That map is... So like you said that like you don't get it because, you know, obviously BR's, it's just a backdrop, right?
Yep.
So, to give you perspective here. One, we're dealing with POIs in Apex Comp. So people drop at set locations. For the longest time, POIs on Broken Moon, there was a massive separation between good POIs and bad POIs in terms of loot. There were, like, and they're just straight up half the time were not enough of them to go around. There's, like, not enough loot to go around. And it led to very lopsided, it leads to very lopsided gameplays depending on where you drop. So they'd have to fix that. 2, Broken Moon has these fucking sky rails that go around the map, and you can get on them and you fucking fly to the other ends of the map.
Like BioShock Infinite.
Yes. And when I say those fucking rails just basically lead to you getting third-partied at the slightest sound of gunfire, I'm not fucking kidding. You take a fight because you think you're cool, we're not going to get thirded, you win the fight, and as you win the fight and are trying to recover and reset, there comes 2 fucking teams from the rails, just swooping down from the fucking heavens, and you're getting rocked.
I see the vision. It's not a good one, but I see it.
And to make matters worse, this is hard to describe, but I'll do my best, because if you don't know the way the map layout, the map is filled with fucking chokes. The most egregious choke points you've ever seen in your goddamn life. Like, I'm not kidding, dude. Some of the chokes on fucking Broken Moon are just like, if a team is set up there, you just, and you're on the outside trying to get to circle, you literally just don't get to move until they tell you it's okay. Like, they are horrible chokes to try to fight into. Like, oh my god. So, like I said, it fucks both people, because half the time it's like someone's in the choke, you try to get into zone, and they're like, no, we're on the choke. And let's say you do take the fight, and you win your uphill odds battle against this choke. Guess what? Team from 7 miles out is on the rails, because half the fucking rails coincide with the chokes. So you win your fucking impossible odds fight to get into your choke, and then you just get thirded from rail. It's an egregious map. I fucking hate it. I legitimately hate it.
I'm looking at the like wallpaper, like loading screen artwork on it.
Sure, yeah, great thing to bring up. To give you some examples here, like fighting, like let's say you get like an end zone that is in fucking the core or Promenade, or like,
dude, is this the one that had the boxing arena on it?
No, that's the boxing arena one is that's Olympus, I believe.
Okay. Sure.
Which
I'm looking at this one. There's like a big old spaceship looking thing that went on like a circular pad, and it looks like unless this is like a more recent map.
No, Broken Moon's after Olympus. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say yeah. Olympus is the one with the fight night for sure.
Okay.
That map was also being tested for comp, but I don't think that one's ready either. So they're not putting it through. But apparently they are putting Broken Moon through. The rails are the problem. Like, you can see how these rails literally get you everywhere in the map by looking at it, right? Like, they're all over the place. You can take them everywhere. They're super fast. They enable these crazy locations. Like,
they're like the blue
crazy
things
ways
that I'm seeing, like the blue like little like lines or whatever.
Yeah, they're the lines you're seeing everywhere. Like, the map I'm looking at, they're red, but like, yes, they are these like red fucking lines that just go everywhere. They're all over the fucking place. And then you can see with all the giant ass walls how many fucking problematic tropes there are to get into some of these places, man. Like I'm telling you, it's brutal out here. Trying to rotate through Promenade at all, good fucking luck. Like, look at how fucked that location is on chokes. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Let me see this.
So Promenade's near the center. It's like above Terraformer.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Above and to the left.
Yeah,
like, because the brown stuff is mountains. Like, you literally can't get over
that's
them.
impassable,
like, that's,
geometry.
Yeah, pretty much impassable. Valk can sometimes get over some of them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, alright, I kind of see what's going on here. Here's my head.
You see, yeah.
Right. With the buffs and everything they're doing in this game, right? This map, with the rails and all that, sure, holding a position might be okay. You're not getting the long snipes that you were getting because everything is so closed off. So this is for that, like, aggressive guerrilla style that we were talking about before.
Sure, I do think it could. I think Broken Mood can lead to more bloodthirsty gameplay. And to be fair, if they are trying to make time to kill lower and gunfights end faster, that does, in theory, make things harder to third because you have less of a time frame to third if gunfights are ending quicker.
Right, because they've already
solved some of the rail issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you at least, even, like, let's say, even if you're not leaving, let's say you've already killed them, you can at least get your reset faster and, like, be full health for the fight. Like, because that's the problem. The problem isn't, half the time it's not, like, leaving. It's just, like, you need to literally heal from your fight, and you're just getting fucking blown up mid-heal. Like,
yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not thrilled, but we'll see what happens. Because I don't think they're going back on this. I don't think we will see any changes to the maps, at least. So I'm pretty sure it seems more than likely that Broken Moon is in comp rotation, and we'll play it like it lands. We got 3 other maps on top of it. Realistically, I am so fed up with World's Edge at this point. It might just be fine to balance it out. I might just take the lesser of two evils and deal with it as
He's ready for King's Canyon to come back.
No, I'm not. Fuck that map. God, that map is of a different time. And I think at the time it was made, it is fine. Playing that map in modern Apex, fuck that map. That map should not be in comp.
Well,
but yeah,
how many other maps do you have? Because you only have World's Edge, Olympus, Stormpoint, Broken Moon, and King's Canyon.
So, yeah, those are literally, you have named every map that exists.
So if there's 3 maps in rotation, right? You take World's Edge out, Olympus isn't ready for comp, right? So
World's Edge is staying in. They're not going to get rid of it.
Okay.
It's too good of a comp viable map. They're just going to go to a 4-map rotation instead of a 3-map rotation.
So they add in.
They're adding in Broken Moon.
Oh wait, so what do they have now? Is it?
Right now they have World's Edge, E District, and Stormpoint.
The fuck is E District?
E District is the newest map that came out like last year.
Okay, yeah.
Very good.
Liquipedia is not updated yet, so I don't see that one.
Yeah, E District is it's like a city one. It's supposed to be like urban and like
okay.
it's a very good map.
Yeah, this looks cool. I'm into this. I like
no, that map's fucking great. Like I think that map has turned out great for comp. Like I said, it's the one I was talking about before. I think it has really fun end games.
Okay.
POIs are good. Like feels good. It's a great map. So it's a great map.
So then they just swap out. I mean, like you said, they're keeping.
Like I said, I don't think they're swapping on anything. I think they're just gonna literally add it.
You think they're just adding? Okay, so
yeah, I think we're just going to a 4-map rotation now.
Okay.
Yeah, where it is now in addition.
I suppose.
Because I will say this: if you are swapping out a map for Broken Moon, I'm super pissed. But if you're just gonna add it to the rotation,
if you're getting rid of Stormpoint or World's Edge for Broken Moon,
yeah, to put in Broken Moon, fuck that. That's a
or even
terrible
because E District's like the newest map, so they might just like give that one the boot to get that one in.
I don't think so. Yeah, like I said, I think we're just going to 4.
Yeah,
E District's way too well liked.
Four
that map is
sense.
actually super well received in terms of like comp viability and like entertainment and watching it. So yeah. I think E District's staying for sure. But yeah, I think we're just going to 4-map rotation, which, like I said, I don't think it's the worst. I don't think it's the worst idea. I think people are sick of World's Edge, and no, I think it should still be around. Seeing less of it is probably a good thing.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see. it's all being upended. In addition to all the gameplay changes, Rostermania Part 2 is going on over there. All of TSM has put out that they're looking for team. Fucking Cloud9 dropped their roster, so their roster is staying together, but like, or trying to stay together, looking for an org, but they said they're all down to take, fucking
whatever offers.
They're down to take offers, separate as well. Bunch of changes over in EMEA. There's rumors that Sykes, Gildersons, and Timmy are all looking for teams. Which, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, if NRG is in the state that it is in, Hodsik, who's NRG's coach, tweeted that he's still under contract for NRG, but is being allowed to explore options. So, like, if Nocturnal is retiring and the NRG roster is breaking up, obviously Guild would be looking for a team.
Mm-hmm.
Fun, who knows what Fun's going to do, if Fun is also looking for a team or if he is also done. And then obviously their coach Hod would be looking for a team too. So Rostermania is all over the place, which this leads me to, because you asked me before about an update on fucking Valorant, right?
Yeah.
And so now I'm crossing a bridge, and I'm gonna weave this together here for maybe the final thing we can talk about on this here episode. So I am now at a point in Apex, right, where my team, the anchor that I had, is potentially leaving the game. Like I said, NRG might be straight up full breaking up, right? Yeah. So I can't even just like, okay, their IGL is gone, they replace him with a new IGL. I still get to support 3 of my boys and get to know this new IGL, right? It's looking like Hod might be going to its own team. Who knows what's happening to Fun? Guild is looking for a new team. So NRG, as I know it, might be entirely scattered. And you asked me, what's going on with Valorant? And I told you much of the same. My perspective on the game has not changed very much, and I'm out here trying to figure out what's going to anchor me into this shit. And I told you last time, and it's still true, that I'm trying to like look for a team to maybe root for to get me better invested from like a point of view, to have a dog in the fight, right? Right. So now I'm looking for one in Valorant. Maybe I'm looking for in Apex. So I ask you, my humble co-host, my man of a similar passion,
sir,
what do you look for in a team, brother? I'm out here. I'm struggling. I'm trying to figure out what's next for me in my Apex loving journey. How do I find? What are you looking for out there when you're stepping into an esport?
I've got like three things, because in all the games that I really follow, right? I've got favorite teams from different regions, right? Take Counter-Strike for example, right? I like Eternal Fire right now. They're a full Turkish roster. I've only known one Turkish person my entire life.
True.
All right. Shout out. His name was Pamir. That dude was the
Pamir,
illest.
the Premier?
I couldn't tell you. The illest dude though. He was so cool. Real quiet type, but he kind of had like an aura to him. Anyway.
Aura farming. W shit.
But yeah, so like, but I like Eternal Fire because of Major, and I like his story. I like that he's a dad, that he really cares about his family, that he's doing all this, right? And CS, you're away from your family for a long time, and you could tell that like it kind of weighs on him, but he's like, I gotta win these games, and he frags out, he balls out like every time, and I respect it. So I'm into that storyline. So for me, it's either a really cool storyline that I'm into. It might be the legacy of like a organization or a region. It might be, simply just they've got an NA player on them and they're performing well, right? Like I'm rooting for FaZe now. I didn't root for FaZe last year, but I'm rooting for FaZe now because they got a Liege, and a Liege, homegrown North American talent, right? It's the same thing when people were rooting for G2 when they had Stewie, right?
Yeah.
In Dota,
you gotta take what you can get.
Gaming Gladiators were my boys. Like right, the EG roster, I was an EG fan for years. They won TI, filled my heart with joy. They won in Valorant, filled my heart with joy. The EG roster in Dota has since dissolved. It does not exist. Right? they had fallen from grace. Sumail is very arrogant and has gone to another team to be more arrogant on a team that is like good on paper but loses all the time. The North American scene in shambles. I like gaming because it has Quinn, and we talked about Quinn earlier.
Yeah.
You know, shit talking Southern boy that balls out on this European roster in a region that hates him. He's like a super villain. I'm with it, right? So if I'm looking for either a player that I can really get invested into, right, and kind of follow their story most of the time, or I'm just rooting for the regional boys, you know, anything that's like NA that's performing well, you know, stuff like that. That's usually what I look for. So if there's not a player that's speaking out to you, right, you've got orgs that you like to support. I know you like C9, you like NRG as not just, you know, for the players, but for the organizations, right? You like Liquid. So
what's the thing? I'll say this. I've always said that I am a player first kind of guy. It's how I've always been. I got into Cloud9 because I was a Mango fan from Super Smash Brothers Melee.
And then I became FGC guys. And there's no teams in FGC. You're just a guy. I mean, you're signed to an org.
You're right.
But
exactly. I'm FGC raised, so you're right. It's all players to me. The orgs are second. And when I got into C9, I got into League of Legends through C9 because I liked Sneaky, I liked Jensen, I liked High, I liked Meteos.
Yeah.
NRG is the same thing for Apex for me. I have really nothing. I have no attachment to NRG as an org, right?
Yeah.
Nocturnal is my favorite IGL. Hodsik is my favorite coach. I love fun. I like Guild. You know, I was a fan of Xset when they were Xset. The reason I became an NRG fan was because Xset left Apex and that team got signed by NRG, that roster. Mm-hmm. So I became an NRG fan by proxy, right? So, but yeah, no, you're right. I'm a player first kind of guy, and at the end of the day, maybe you're right. Maybe it is just follow the players. Maybe it is, where does Hodsik go? Where does Guild go? Where does Fun go if Fun goes somewhere, you know?
Right. It's fine.
Just because the full roster is gone doesn't mean a new one cannot form from its ashes.
Yeah. And it's also okay to like multiple teams. Listen.
Complexity is a great example.
Yeah.
I was really rooting for Complexity at this LAN. Obviously, that's... Because here's the deal, right? Falcons isn't it? Well, not an NA team.
Yeah.
It is and it isn't. Falcons has two U.S. players and Zero, who is an Aussie player that moved to the U.S., who's like basically a U.S. But I can't root for Falcons. One, because foreign org. Two, it's the Miami Heat during the LeBron era all over again. Yeah. They got the three fucking they put together the three best players in Apex that are paying them an absorbent amount of money to be on the same team. Yeah. So fuck that. We can't be on that.
We've also had this conversation when we talk about the Overwatch League, where it's like it's a team that it's an org that you enjoy, but it's a roster of players that you can't relate to in a region that they don't even know that's a part of.
Yeah. No, I mean you're right. But yeah, like I said, Complexity. I was rooting for Complexity. It was great to see those boys doing well. I think Monsoon is hilarious. I think he's super funny. He had one of my favorite esports interviews of all time at Split 2 playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good dude. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that's where we're at. Maybe though the times are dreary, I just got to see what's coming next and get on board. And at worst, you know, maybe we're a Complexity guy now. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
For the time being, man, if it's homegrown, listen, man, I can't be an NA Dota fan. Right, my teams.
You can be an NA Apex fan. The best well, now we actually haven't won a LAN in a little bit, but we are still probably by the numbers the best region in the game.
Listen, I'm an NA fan across any game. That being said, I can't, you know, as a respectable person, support North American Dota when the notable active teams on Liquipedia are CW Esports, Shopify Rebellion, Wildcard, and Fart Studios. Who the fuck is on Fart Studios? Monkeys Forever is on this team?
Oh no.
This is BSJ and Jenkins' team? I knew it was some shit. This is Avilovis, or whatever they were called, all over again. Their logo was a shield with broccoli, milk, cheese, and a burrito on it, and a guy with a cat head farting.
Is that the state of NA Dota?
This is the state of NA Dota when Shopify Rebellion is probably your best team.
Oh no!
And it's not even a full team because Arteezy left. It is 4 people, and it's not even a North American team. It's a Peruvian, 2 Filipinos, and a Belarusian.
So, my follow-up question to that is: are you rooting for them or Fart Studio?
Listen, man, Fart Studios has North American players on it.
So your response is, I'm killing myself.
I might have to. Wildcard is my only complete active North American roster. With like Eddie Kai. What am I looking at here? Cito has 3 people on a team. How is that a notable roster? What are they doing? What's happening? Right, Wildcard's got 12th to 14th at FPG. They're not even playing in this most recent tournament.
You know what? I'm glad this is brought up. You made me just like spat on myself. Oh my god. You have made me feel better about the state of things for my support of
Listen, NRG might be falling apart. You don't have Fart fucking Studio as a team in your game.
What I was gonna make is, though my NRG roster is gone, there are potential. Like I said, I've already invested in complexity. There are people I can go to in North America that are great teams, both good in the game and fun to follow personalities. I don't have to turn to Fart Studio.
Like, it would be Shopify. But Shopify is a roster of 4 dudes from Southeast Asia, CIS, and South America. Wait, I'm fine with supporting... Oh, wait, hold on. What is this? The org roster is North Americans. It's fucking Bulba and a bunch of other people. Harley Finkelstein. Fucking president of this team.
Oh,
you're telling me Bulba, seasoned player, international runner-up. I think he played in like the first. He played in a few, but playing the first one on what is it? Online Kingdom. That was like Fierce Team with Universe in them. And you're telling me that Hellscream and Timido are what we and Yapaj are like the best we can do. And Hellscream is on a trial. He's not even signed to the team. Shopify Rebellion?
Oh, buddy.
But Wildcard? Wildcard is our best team in the region?
3-person Wildcard.
Wildcard is a full team. Wildcard is the only full team. Was that fucking Amaranth I saw?
Oh, stop.
The co-owner?
Stop it.
Is that real Amaranth? It's real Amaranth too.
No, dude, don't do this to yourself.
It's not even like Asuna and Valorant. It's actual Amaranth. Dude, NA Dota is cooked beyond belief. When our only full team is Wildcard and a notable active roster is a roster of 3 people and it's Fart fucking Studio. I'm losing my mind. And it hasn't been active since 2023.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, you're right. I just gotta keep the hope alive.
It's never been this bad in any game you watch. I promise you. BSJ and Jenkins, come on the show. I'd love to hear why. I'd love to know why. Jenkins got an impeccable style, though. I will say that Jenkins knows how to dress.
God bless.
If you want to see aura on esports, all right, you watch Jenkins. You watch him say some he says the most deranged shit about Dota, He knows the numbers. This guy runs Dota Alchemy. He knows what he's talking about. He will say the most like unhinged thing about the game. It's nonsense, and he's like, nah, but the math adds up. He will prove it to you, and then be like, I own a team.
The numbers don't lie.
And it's Fort Studio.
Numbers don't lie.
Lock it in. The best NA team is one guy on a European team, and it's not even a good European team anymore. Runner up at TI twice. Get me out. Get me out of this region for Dota. I can't do this anymore. All of our coaches are in Europe now. All of our coaches are TI winners on European teams.
You're right. Apex Year 5. What am I saying?
What are you worried about? You worried about Fart Studios coming into Apex?
I'm lamenting the loss. It is okay for me to lament the loss of my faves, but there are people to turn to, real alternatives.
I'm sending you there. Take me out. Close this episode out because I'm gonna get more mad the more I have to look at this.
No, absolutely. Let me finalize.
The mic has peaked like 6 times already. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Oh my god!
But I can't sit idly while this happens.
What is that? Oh wow!
That's their logo.
What a crest. Guys.
Man.
We've talked a lot. I lamented the loss of a lot of my favorite things in the dire straits. But I'm glad it was brought up because my constant rock, my constant co-host, DOBAN, has showed me the way. Just know that if ye can keep the faith for Dota in a world where Fart Studio is a notable roster for his region, you can keep it in your game, and I can keep it alive for Apex. I'll find a new roster to support. I'll be in there backing somebody.
By Scamaranth, get me out.
No matter how dark it gets, it's not Fart Studio. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Next episode's probably the MOBA episode too, so it's even more cooked.
No, it's fine. We'll see you in the next one. It's gonna be the MOBA episode. It's gonna be great.
It has to be the MOBA episode. I can't let this Prezi sit here any longer. We'll see you then. Oh man. Keep it locked. HotKeys Esports. See you next time.
Deuces.
Bye.